Hey everyone, this is Chris Demas here with Leading Edge Realty Advisors. I have a commercial lender here, Derrick Foreman. He's been doing it for over 20 years. So we're on the Demas 2-minute drill. I've got one question for Derrick. What key metrics do banks prioritize when qualifying investor real estate loans?
Chris, great question. Typically, advance rates in commercial banking and industrial, retail, and multifamily are about 75% advance rate. That's for recourse lending. So we're looking at the guarantors to provide their guarantees. So that 75% is based on the lesser value of the purchase price or the appraisal. So in the event that the appraisal comes in lower, buyer and seller have to come to an agreement to either lower the purchase contract, otherwise the buyer has to come out more out of pocket. Second, cash flow is critical to any type of lending. So banks typically want to see a debt service coverage ratio of 1.2 times. That's typically calculated by that net operating income divided by the annual debt service. Typically we're using that by extrapolating from the appraiser, from their operating income and direct capitalization approach. So we are looking at a 10% vacancy factor, 5% management fee, and 3% for capital expenses. And that's all based off of effective gross income. As a buyer, you got to be aware of these things, and that when you're looking at the historical from the seller, that these might not be in there, and you want to make sure they're in your analysis because that's what the bank is looking at. And lastly, lease rollover risk, specifically for industrial and retail. Banks want to see the long-term tenants in place, and hopefully these leases have options in them. But for example, if a bank's loan is 5-year balloon and all the leases are expiring in the next 6 months, that's not good. So banks want the leases to match the maturity of the loan. So hopefully that answers your question, Chris.
That was awesome, Derrick. Thanks for coming on the 2-minute drill.
Thanks.